Lizzie, I'm so curious. Tell me about your relationship with the water.
My relationship with water now is very different to what it's been for the past 50 years.
Well, tell me how it's evolved and how it started and how you got to where you are now.
My parents are both non-swimmers. Um, my dad did used to take me into the sea, and I don't remember having a fear of water going in the sea. Didn't swim, but enjoyed the water. Don't remember any fear. Then at about the age 8, I went on a school trip to the swimming pool, and we were going to have swimming lessons. And this was amazing. I was so excited. I was actually going to learn to swim, and this was like my dream. And I lined up with the non-swimmers because they separated us out into the two groups, the swimmers and the non-swimmers. I lined up with the non-swimmers, all excited, ready to learn. And I don't really have a memory of what happened, but all I remember is the swimming instructor said, "You're too much of a non-swimmer. Just go into the baby pool on your own." And they wouldn't teach me.
Oh my gosh.
So this was an amazing thing that I thought I was going to do. And all of a sudden, I was made to feel that I wasn't able to do it and was just
Wow.
left alone. And it was quite a long time as well, left alone. Yeah. Um, I don't know whether that then created the fear of the water. I don't know. But I have then, since then, I am frightened around swimming pools. Even the smell of the chlorine will, sort of make me feel anxious.
Wow.
So my dad would try to teach me. He would stand next to me and hold me. And as soon as I think I'd start swimming, I'd think he was moving his hands away and I'd panic. And yeah, so this lasted, I think I was probably early 40s when I actually tried again to learn. And I did succeed in swimming for about 2 seconds.
For about 2 seconds. Okay.
Yeah. And it felt amazing. It really did.
God, how did you have the courage to go back after all that time?
I'd started a relationship with my partner that I'm with now, and he had a boat. And I thought maybe I should try and address this.
Yeah.
Now's the
Yeah.
time.
It's interesting. We seem to have forcing functions, right? Even though it's like a life-saving skill, but so like that's such a big hurdle. Like you have to have something like a partner with a boat.
To give you that courage. Yeah, to give you
Yeah,
that courage
yeah.
to go. Yeah. And the lady that was there, she was brilliant. And the lesson was only half an hour. And I didn't swim until the last 5 minutes. So I didn't have much time to do it. Unfortunately, I then injured my ankle, so couldn't get back in the pool for quite some time.
Oh no.
And when I tried to get back in there, the fear was there and I couldn't do it again.
Oh wow. Just kind of crop back up.
Yeah, it's just getting the courage to make that first move and to the water, to give yourself to the water. I just couldn't do it. I did have some more lessons, and again, I succeeded in swimming, but it wasn't joyful. It was just a struggle, to get to the side kind of thing.
It's interesting to hear you say it as you succeed. The first time you said you succeeded in swimming for just 2 seconds. And then,
Yeah,
it's because I think it's an interesting thing um, that we teach people to get to the side versus just being in the water, right? I
yeah,
think it's
yeah,
an interesting distinction. And there's the life-saving aspect of it. So there's the pressure to like help people get to the side. But the power, right, is in being comfortable in the
yeah.
water.
That's the thing.
But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so tell me what when you say that you succeeded the first time you said like for 2 seconds, and then you've worked up the courage to come back around and then you succeeded to get to the side. When you say succeeded, like what do you mean? Just kind of like the struggle.
So the first time I did it, I actually was feeling the water. I could feel the float. I could feel, I wasn't doing a set stroke. The teacher just said, just do what feels natural. And I was actually feeling the water. The second time was instructed strokes, and I wasn't feeling the water. I was just getting from A to B without actually feeling what the water was doing. I was fighting the water, really.
Yeah, I think that's just an important distinction. Thank you for digging into that because it's yeah, I think it's just interesting. I think there's a lot of adults out there that think they know how to swim, but they know how to get to the side,
Yes, yeah,
because they've been instructed on the strokes. Yeah.
it's a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So then, so you got to the side but you're not feeling comfortable. And then,
I've then gone into the pool since after the lessons, and I can't do it. I can't give myself to water. And the fear is exactly the same as it always has been.
were any of your instructors addressing like your breath, like how you breathe or helping you
Not
find?
really. Just it's all about position of your body and what your body's doing. It's not really addressing the mental side of it. I don't think it's strokes, it's swimming strokes, isn't it? I researched so much as well, so I was trying to practice certain things myself through searching on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but were you still just researching kind of just positions with your body kind of thing?
Well, obviously, I then researched and found the Miracle Swimming website. I also found yourself, but I found the Miracle Swimming website, and that was finally something that I thought that I hoped that could work. A little bit in the back of my mind was it won't work for you. You couldn't do it at school. It's not going to work now. That was still there even these years later. So I wasn't convinced that those methods would work either.
Yeah, so you gave yourself permission to sign up for that. And that was last year, you said?
That was in this year in May.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
It wasn't actually with her because it was here in the UK. I did the course. Yeah, but it's her teaching. Yeah.
So what was that like compared to what you'd done before?
You couldn't compare it. Apart from being in water, there was no similarities. But that was quite strange as well because there was 4 of us on the group, and the first 2 because we sort of tell our story, and the first 2 ladies that told their story, they were both could swim. They just had a fear of deep water.
Mm.
So I suddenly had those feelings of not
You're the one
belonging, and panicking. But thankfully, the 4th lady was the same as me, and her fears were, identical to mine. And so I had a companion there that could understand my fears. I mean, obviously, the instructors understood my fears as well. But it was great to have somebody that was the same.
Yeah, it helps a lot when we can see ourselves in someone else for that courage to come in.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, do you want to share any bit about how long was that instruction? Was it like a day or week, or I don't know, how long was it?
That was 4 days. So we had, some of the days were double sessions. So we'd spend about 2-3 hours in the pool and sort of an hour before discussing, and then 2 or 3 hours in the water. Just doing what we wanted, just learning the water, understanding the water, feeling the water, and just being patient with ourselves.
Did you feel those fears come up when you're in those sessions? I mean, I think it's an interesting thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the first one was terrifying,
Yeah.
So you get in the pool and you expect people to say, right, do this, do that, try this, do that. And there's nothing that you just allowed to you could just stand there and do nothing. You could get out if you wanted. You could just do what you want. And that was amazing, not to be pushed out of your comfort zone. It's just about remaining comfortable at all times.
That's so great. I'm so glad that they had that miracle came to the UK this year. Tell us when you do this 4-day session, and I don't know what's going on by day 2 and by 3 and day 4. Take us through a little bit, like how it's going in your head.
It was quite weird because I got really quite comfortable, and then towards the middle of the course, and then I had a bad day, and you're like, oh no, I'm losing it all again. But then the final day was amazing. Yeah. So I actually managed to do a back float, which is unbelievable because I used to avoid going to the hairdressers because I didn't even like leaning back and having the spray
Wow.
on my head. So to achieve a back float was incredible. And to feel that water holding me as if I was laying on a pillow, it does actually support you.
Did you notice anything in your kind of, I don't know, day-to-day life that kind of shifted with this newfound confidence in the water?
Not necessarily with this. I actually work on a zip line. I'm scared of most things, but I work on a zip line, and about 3 years ago, I applied for the job in the cafe. And when I went to apply for the job, I seen that they were looking for instructors on the zip line, and something said, go for that. And I did the zip line as well. Obviously, we have to do the zip line in the training. And that was a big changing point because that made me realize how much more I was capable of. And sort of this swimming journey, water journey is a continuation from that was the starter of that. And this is continuing on now. And obviously, yes, it's contributed to it because I now realize that I'm capable of so much more than I thought I was.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, obviously my focus is a lot in the water, but it's true we can find, we can find out what we're capable of course, on land as well. But I'm so glad that even helps push you to face this fear in the water and help you.
I think that helps. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So now the waters of the world. How do you feel in open water? I don't know, where is this journey taking you?
So I'm not at open water yet. I'm still within my depth. Yeah, still within my depth. So 1.3 meters is still a little bit scary. Anything that's sort of 1.2, I'm comfortable in. But I'm still very new on this journey. Um, so so the lady that I met on the course, we live quite close to each other, and we are going through the journey together. We're meeting every week and going to the pool every week. And I mean, it's a new dimension in my life, a completely new extra dimension of the water, one that I haven't had all my life. It's incredible. Um, and just to see how because the other day I was at the pool and the sun was coming in and there was all rainbows on the pool floor, and to be under the surface looking at those rainbows is just amazing. It's just everything is so new and wonderful. It really is.
So you have this friend from the course, you go each
Yes.
week. Yeah,
Yes.
that's great. Do you could just paddle around? Do you float around? What do you do when you're in the water?
I just get straight in, and I'm happier underwater than trying to swim above. I'm happier just floating and turning and doing things underwater. So I just do that for 2.5 hours, just
Wow.
underwater, going in all different directions and playing. Yeah. Yeah. Doing what I should have done when I was 8.
You know what? It's more and more I hear about it. We're supposed to keep playing as we get older too. So it's good to have a place that you can play.
We did actually find that if we put toys in the water, it helps eliminate fears. Because during the course, we'd be there and we'd like, oh no, we can't let go. Oh, we can't let go. And then the instructor would put some toys on the floor, and we're there diving down to the toys straight away.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that little incentive is there in front of you, that little carrot, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
gives your brain something else to focus on. So you were telling me that in our email, but that it led us to this discussion today that
Yes,
the holiday rush, whatever hubbub mayhem hadn't really reached you because you're so excited to plan your next water adventure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how other people could access that same joy from the water so they can let the holiday hubbub
That's it.
go.
Everyone's saying, oh, are you ready for Christmas? And I'm like, no, but I'm ready for my swim tomorrow. And then I've got a spa booked on Thursday. I've got those ready, And yeah, that's all I can think about because it's such a new thing and such a big thing. It really is. And it's wonderful. you know, really good dimension to have in your life.
Do you have any, I mean, do you look to think that you'd go more than once a week? I don't know. How do you just,
At the moment, I'm
okay.
doing twice. Yeah, I'd go every day if I could, but I don't think the chlorine's that good for you. So, yeah. And the sea's not clean here, but I do sort of cold water dipping as well, but I did manage to swim in the sea very briefly. But there was a little element of apprehension, should I say. But I did do it. It was in October on my birthday. So,
That's
yeah,
lovely. That's great. That's what a gift to yourself for your birthday
it
after
was it
just
was the
learning this.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like I want to ask if you have any goals, but I feel like you're just exactly happy right where you are. So why push to
I mean,
do
my
more?
goal is to swim. I would like to go over a coral reef. That's something that I've always seen all through my life, and it would be like, oh my God, that would be amazing. So, I am introducing the snorkel into my life, and I've been taking that
Nice.
down the pool and trying that out. And that was my Christmas present. My partner gave it to me early so that I could try that out. And I used it last week in the pool, and it'll be going with me tomorrow as well. So,
Nice. Yeah, the snorkel can be such an amazing tool, but there is a bit of a learning curve with it, I think,
yeah.
for get used to that the air's there. Yeah, does it have a mask with the nose piece or?
Yes, and so the first one I tried, water could go in the tube, and
Oh,
that was just playing on my mind. So
yeah.
he bought me one with the valve in it, so the water doesn't go in.
Good call. Good call.
Oh, it's just I just trying to get myself in all different kinds, like different pools, different environments, just to get myself used to all different sensations.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I talk to my swimmers that I coach a lot about how each environment is its own like laboratory for helping you understand your body in the water, and that we need all those different waters, even if they're murky or chlorinated or busy pools or, like it all helps us integrate our understanding of our body in the water just by putting ourselves in different environments. So you're doing it. That's great. Because
And
it builds
different
a confidence.
clothing,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
because I was wearing a really thin wetsuit jacket because I'm not moving much. I was wearing that in the pool. And then sometimes if I go to a warmer pool, I wouldn't wear it. And I'd be like, something's not right. Something doesn't feel right. And it's just that your balance is slightly different, you're just a slightly different angle. And when everything's so new, you notice it. Yeah, so just trying all different things at the moment.
That's smart. Yeah, for sure. That's the way to do it. You're doing the right thing, Lizzie. Do you think you'll make it to see a coral reef next year?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I've already got it planned.
Excellent. Excellent. It's nice to have those goals out there, right? That we can work ourselves toward. Very cool. Do you think you'll try learning strokes or just keep your playing and floating?
I mean, I want to be able to efficiently move through the water because obviously that would be, make life easier. But at the moment, it's just working out how to get from under the surface to above the surface because obviously at the moment, air is the most important thing to me. So once I've mastered, getting to the surface, um, I don't need the bottom then to help me. And then, that's obviously a big goal is to not need to stand up to get air. I mean, I do in certain depths, I can turn onto my back. I can get myself up, but if you put me in slightly deeper water, because there are still elements of nervousness, I then
Mhm.
struggle a little bit. So
Yeah.
obviously, air is important at the moment. And figuring out how to
It
get out the
is.
floor is the next step, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. But you're on your way. Yeah. And I think that, yeah, the more you can tune in to your breath, we can, like, it's an interesting thing when we can um, see our fears, and we can't see them if we're not in our breath, right? So if we're not breathing, if we're breathing just in our kind of fight or flight into our chest, we can't even, when the fear comes, it's, we just freak out, right? Yeah. Versus if we can bring it down a little lower, then it's like, oh, wait a second. I know how to float, right? We can
Yeah,
exercise those things. So,
yeah.
which coral reef have you planned to go float over?
I can't share that with you at the moment because it's going to be a surprise to my partner, but I do have
Ah,
it
okay,
planned.
okay.
So if I share it on here, he'd end up finding out.
Okay, we'll keep it a secret and we'll have to check back in with you and see how it's
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
What's one thing you would tell somebody who's maybe had a bad school learning swimming experience about the water so that they might reconsider, I don't know, reconsider finding building a relationship with the water.
Oh, it's definitely worth building a relationship with it, definitely. Just to be patient with yourself and be, because with swimming lessons, they just want to make you go to the next step, the next step, the next step, and just allow yourself the time just to feel the water and do what feels good for you, not for what other people ask you to do or you think that other people should, want you to do.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I sometimes tell my swimmers that like swimming is one of the only things I can think of that when it feels good, that means you're doing it right. because because like having another chocolate bar, which might feel good for a minute,
It
not
doesn't
necessarily the
matter.
right choice or the next episode of whatever you're watching. But in the water, when you allow yourself to feel the feelings and like feel into what the waters feel like is allowing you, commonly that's like what you want to keep doing more of what feels good because the water supports us.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when I'm trying out different swimming strokes, just trying out how it feels, if it's hard work, it's difficult, it's hurting my back, it's hurting my, I'm trying all these things. And then other times I'm like, oh my God, that's absolutely perfect. That feels amazing. And you're just gliding through and floating through and just flying. You just,
Yep, lean into the good feelings. Yep. Yeah,
yeah,
if it's hurting your
yeah,
back or your neck or your shoulders, you're
you're
probably
fighting.
compromising. It's interesting too, just because it's such an unstable medium, it allows us to compromise our joints and do all kinds of funny things to try to get from one place to another. But um, yeah, if we can find our breath and we can find a float, then we can work on progressing our float forward.
I mean, that was how I did with the floating, was just to just move your arm just a tiny, tiny bit, just move your shoulder a tiny bit, and you can just feel how it feels with these tiny body movements. Which before, if you move or the water moved you, you'd panic. But now you're moving in the water and actually feeling how the water reacts to you and vice versa, just slowing everything down.
Exactly. Yeah. Because the water's 800 times denser than air, it definitely reacts, like the bigger the movement, the bigger the reaction. Whereas if we're subtle, then we feel that we have, yeah, our ability to, I want to say control it. We can't control it. That's the illusion. But we have more, but you can feel the response, like you said, just slowing everything down a lot.
I did have quite an amazing experience where this little boy in the pool, because we're in the sort of kiddies pool, that's the pool we're in, and he was having lessons, and it was all this kick, 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 and all this swim, 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 and then his lesson finished, and I was sort of doing this little swimming round, going round and turning around in circles, and spinning round in circles, and he came up to me and did exactly the same as me, and then was smiling at me, and then went over to his sister and said, look, 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 look what I could do. Look what I can do. And I was like, oh, he's copying what I was doing. I mean, this is incredible. Someone's copying what I'm doing in the water and enjoying it. And it was amazing to see.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. That's, I think that's, I talk about that sometimes too with my swimmers. Is like there's the influence we can have on other people just by I think it's an interesting thing to give yourself permission to just go play in the water. Do you feel like that was an obstacle in of itself to like just to go to the water, just play in the kiddie pool as an adult?
Definitely, because with nerves, you have to go with someone. You don't really want to go on your own. And then they want to help you, but they're not. They think they're helping you, but they're not. They're pressurizing you, kind of thing, you know. So just, just to be able to slow down. But as an older person, it's awkward to do those sort of things. You know, it's awkward to go in the kiddies pool. And luckily, at this pool where I am, it's completely separate pool from the main pool. It's not attached to it. And the lifeguards there are fantastic as well. They're really supportive of us. So to get the right facilities as well, we've been really lucky with that.
Yeah, I'm just remembering some of the clinics I've run we do floating. That's all we do at the beginning, and even just like floating face down versus like you express the resistance you had to kind of floating on your back. That's super common. And so sometimes it's easier to help people learn to float on their front. But I have to remind people in my classes, like, don't do this when you're not in my class, because if you're floating face down in a pool, during an open swim session, the lifeguards will be very concerned. But that's
the difficulty. Yeah. I have to. You want to stay still, but you have to keep occasionally moving a limb or something, just so they know you're all right. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of times when people come to my classes, they're just like, oh, I just need to do this more. I just need to play around more in the water. And it's just so interesting that once we get older, we don't give ourselves that permission to play. And that's so important. Keeps us young.
It is quite hard because everyone's doing lengths. They're up and down and up and down. And to do that, it's quite difficult to do that in a shared pool because you're in the way. You feel like you're in the way. So it's finding the right facilities that allow you to do that, and having the courage to go, do you know what? I've got as much right to be in this baby pool as anyone else. It's not, you can be in that shallow pool.
And look what it's uncovered for you. You're doing what you were doing, what you should have been doing when you were 8, and you get to do it when you're in your 50s. And I think it's a beautiful, beautiful gift you've given yourself.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it just keeps giving, I don't know, it's just going to keep giving all the way through all the new experiences. And I've done the hard bit, I really have done the hard bit now, and it's just going to get better and better.
Yeah, and you can do it for the rest of your life. How cool is that?
I know, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Lizzie. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for wanting to hear it.